All right, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The number one nutrition mistake that you as an athlete are making right now is skipping your breakfast. And if you're not, don't even stop. Don't stop to listen. Keep listening, because chances are, even if you are eating breakfast, your breakfast might suck. So if you're not eating before school, if you're not eating before weights, even if those weights are in the morning, if you're not eating before practice, don't wonder why you feel flat, you feel gassed out, or you feel like you're stuck in a plateau, you're not gaining the weight, gaining the muscle that you want. If you are skipping breakfast, you are skipping out on your full potential. Today I'm breaking down why it matters, what it's costing you, and how to fix it. So yes, you're going to get the why, but you're also going to get how to fix it, the how, the what. So if you trained like you fueled, your gas tank would be flashing E before you even hit your warm up. You are going from your dinner at 7, 8 o'clock at night until 10, 11, 12 o'clock the next day. That's like 15 hours without eating. And as an athlete, that is a problem. Think about if you drove your car halfway across country without actually filling that gas tank up. You would be broken down on the side of the road. You're just lucky that you have a little bit more in your body to make sure that you're not burning out completely. But here's the deal. If you guys are skipping out on breakfast, you're skipping out on getting enough food in your day, you will break down your muscle for energy. Yes, the protein in your muscles can actually be broken down into energy. It's not efficient, it takes a long time, but it will happen. So make sure that you are eating enough. Make sure you're getting what you need so that you are not breaking down muscle. No one is going to perform well under the kind of stress that you're putting yourself under. You already have mental stress. You already have social stress. You have all these pressures. Don't add nutrition, physical stress to that. That's just going to make it so that you fail even more. Skipping breakfast will lead to low energy, less muscle, less endurance, and overall less performance and recovery. And it's going to increase your risk for injury, increase your risk for poor focus, and you're really going to have a very little chance of actually getting those gains that you want. Now, you say, I'm not hungry in the morning. Okay, no appetite does not mean that you don't need food. Just because you're not hungry does not mean you don't need food. As an athlete, a lot of the times you actually need food, and oftentimes you might not even get that hunger because of the stress and because of the norm. You know, a lot of the times the reason you are not hungry in the morning is because you have told your body that you're not going to listen to it. Your body once told you, hey, I'm hungry, and then you ignored it. And so it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna walk out the door. I'm not even gonna try. You know, your metabolism has slowed down because you have chronically underfueled. You have chronically not eaten enough. So if you want a better metabolism, if you want to really fuel your potential and feel energized and feel the way that you should and perform the way that you should, then you've got to eat breakfast. You've got to make sure that you have a solid routine. You know, eating breakfast, I don't care if you're trying to lean out or you're trying to gain. Eating breakfast is going to level up your performance. It's going to help you get leaner. It's going to help you get stronger. It's going to help you get faster. Now, it doesn't mean you're just eating any breakfast. You know, we'll get into like what breakfast should look like, but you got to start with something. Now, a lot of athletes, they're starting with something. Their breakfast is a protein shake, or it's a banana, or it's some cereal. You're getting one macro. You're getting just protein. You're getting just carbs. That is not breakfast. You don't need to have a full egg, toast, whatever breakfast, but you can't just have a banana or cereal, and you can't just have a protein shake. You can't just have some Pop-Tarts. You can't just have a protein bar. We got to do a little bit of both. We got to work together on this. So, you know, if you're already doing the protein shake, let's add to that. Let's turn it into a protein smoothie. Get one of those little small blender bottles, the ones that are easy mix, and you just push it down and it goes. have one of those. Put your protein stuff in there, but then also add the bananas, add the greens, add other things in there, the carbs, the color to your protein so that you're getting a fuller breakfast. So you still small, not crazy amount, but it's also easy to clean up. You don't have to have a giant blender, to do this. Just a small thing, just something to get you going. If you're just eating toast, or if you're just eating a bagel, or you're just eating cereal, let's add to that. Let's add peanut butter. Let's maybe have some Greek yogurt with it. Let's get some protein, get some fats in there as well. If you're doing the Pop Tarts, let's try to just full on switch those Pop Tarts out. Let's not, probably don't need those, but let's focus on something. If you're going to have it on a daily basis, let's make sure it is something that is actually going to fuel your day, going to make you feel more energized, and actually help you perform the way that you want to. The amazing thing with breakfast is every time I work with an athlete who has not been eating breakfast consistently, they start eating breakfast, and it's not just about the school day. It's about later on. It's about practice after school. It's about practice in the evenings. And they talk about, wow, I have more energy at 4:00 because I ate breakfast. Like, that's 8 hours apart, 10 hours apart, and it's still impacting how they perform. Maddy Weaver is a great example of this. If you guys go back to the episode that I have with her, she talks about this. She talks about how when she started eating breakfast more consistently, not only was she having more energy in her AP classes or IB or whatever, the advanced classes in the early morning at 9 a.m., but she also was having more energy for her practices. She wasn't feeling like she had to take a nap on the court. She actually felt like how she should, because she was front loading. She was setting that foundation in the morning. And again, it wasn't some super heavy breakfast. It was something like overnight oats. It was something like a protein smoothie, a Greek yogurt parfait. It wasn't some big breakfast burrito. Some of you guys like the breakfast burritos. That works. But we've got to figure out something that's going to work for you, whether it's lighter, whether it's heavier. Let's get something in that hits the protein, hits the carbs, and let's get some color in there as well. If you are trying to gain weight or muscle and you are skipping breakfast, you are throwing away a big window in your day, the best window in your day. The morning is one of the most important times to not only stimulate muscle repair, muscle growth, but it also stimulates your appetite. It stimulates what you're going to do for the rest of the day. If you eat breakfast, you eat a solid, balanced breakfast, you are not going to gravitate towards the Pop-Tarts, the chips, the things like that at lunch or on those snacks. You're not going to feel like you need them. You are going to feel way more energized. You are going to be able to build that muscle more effectively, and you're going to get more results because of it. Breakfast is the foundation of your day. If you are skipping breakfast, you are more likely to make bad choices later, and you are more likely to not get enough food in to build that muscle. As an athlete, you need a lot of food. You need a lot of protein. You cannot hit your protein or your calorie goals if you are skipping 4 hours of your day. You should be eating every 3 to 4 hours, sometimes every 2 hours, depending on your season right now. And that means breakfast cannot be ignored. All right. The other thing with breakfast, when I talk about energy, why are you crashing halfway through practice or right before practice or 3/4 of the way through practice or a game? It's because you are not getting enough sleep, you are not hydrating enough, and you are not eating enough or eating enough of the right foods. Skipping breakfast is going to equal lower energy and increased cravings. The reason you are craving sugar, the reason you are craving chips, pastries, Pop-Tarts, whatever, and that you're crashing at 2, 3 o'clock is because you skipped breakfast. When your body is underfueled early, it's going to compensate that. It's going to try to figure out a way to make up for that. And the best way for it to do it is it's going to crave the thing that is going to satisfy that underfueling, that lack of energy, that lack of calories, the easiest. So it's going to gravitate towards the chips, the soda, the candy, the things that are giving you the most energy at the quickest amount of time. That sugar is going to go in a lot quicker than if you eat a whole meal. You also think about what is most convenient. You're going to crave the things that are very convenient because you're so hungry, you're so underfueled that you're going to just grab for whatever is available. And you're like, oh, well, like I'm getting the carbs, I'm getting the energy. For now, you're going to create this roller coaster. You're going to create this cycle of high energy, low energy, high energy, low energy, high focus, poor focus, high endurance, low endurance. It's going to be this up and down thing because you're just binging on junk. Then you cut out, then you binge again because you crashed, and you just keep going this back and forth. And you never ever get to perform at your full potential. So you got to start your day with something stable. Not just carbs, not just protein. You need both to have that balanced energy. Even better if you get some fats in there. So if you're going the overnight oats route, just as an example, yes, you can add some Greek yogurt to that for protein, but let's add some fats to it. Let's add maybe some peanut butter, some nuts, some seeds, something else that's going to get some fats in there so that you are getting more long-term energy as well. Fats are going to give you more long-term energy. It's also going to slow all of that digestion down so that you feel fuller for longer. This could also be, hey, maybe you're doing some oatmeal with some eggs, and it doesn't have to be eggs on its own. It could be eggs in the oatmeal and you heat it up. It could be a breakfast sandwich. It could be a breakfast burrito. It could be the Greek yogurt parfaits I talked about. And again, it's not just Greek yogurt and granola with sweetened yogurt. It's Greek yogurt, some fruit, some pumpkin seeds, some almonds, some other nuts and seeds for some more protein, more fats. And then maybe you can add some granola if you need the extra carbs. Again, a lot of simple, easy things, and they don't require a lot of effort. Maybe the eggs take a little more effort, but you can build a routine around that. The breakfast burritos could take a while, but instead of making them every single morning, let's make them on Sundays for the whole week. Greek yogurt can be made the night before. The overnight oats can be made the night before. Breakfast sandwiches can be bulk prepped. There's so many ways that you can do that. So do not limit your potential by skipping breakfast. If you're serious about getting stronger, if you're serious about gaining the weight, gaining the muscle that you need, or you are serious about getting leaner and stronger and building the better composition and the body, then you've got to eat breakfast. It is non-negotiable. It is essential. If you want to have more energy, if you want to recover better, if you want to fulfill your full potential as an athlete and as a human, eat your breakfast. It's foundation. It is going to set the foundation for the rest of your day. And right now, most of your competition is skipping it. Every single time I speak to a high school, at least 50% of the athletes are skipping breakfast. Oftentimes, it's like 3/4 of the athletes, like 75%. And then I ask, okay, but for those who didn't, who are eating breakfast, is that breakfast cereal or a protein shake or one of those foods I listed? And again, fewer and fewer. So it's really maybe 10 to 20% of athletes who are actually eating a real breakfast. If you want to have an edge on your competition, if you want to separate yourself, eat breakfast. Be the athlete who eats breakfast no matter what, who trains hard and recovers the way that they should, that fuels their workouts, not just runs on empty. Be consistent. The more that you are consistent with breakfast, the better results you're going to be. Now, make sure if you guys have somebody else on your team, which I know you do, you have somebody else who says they want to go D1, they want to maximize their potential, they want to play pro, but they're skipping breakfast. You see them tanking halfway through workouts. Send them this. Tell them, y'all, you got to eat breakfast. You got to do something about this because otherwise you will never reach your full potential. And same goes for you. If you do not do this, you will not reach your full potential. You might succeed. You might go to play college, but you will be doing that in spite of your mistakes. You will be reaching those, playing college in spite of not eating breakfast. If you want to maximize your potential, don't make those mistakes. Don't limit that. Always find a way to get better. Always find a way to maximize that potential. And as always, keep striving for greatness.